All right, I'm going to call this meeting of the Distress Unit Appeal Board to order. Just to start with, just acknowledge that we did post this meeting in compliance with the open door law, so everything is official. And before we start, we do have some new members of the board, so I thought I'd just introduce both for each other and for the public. My name is Pete Miller, and I am the appointee of the Office of Management Budget, and as such, I'm chairing Distress Unit Appeal Board, and I'm gonna just kind of go around the room if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Seth Hinshaw, designee for Dr. Katie Jenner within the education vertical.
Why don't we skip here?
I am Jason Cockrell. I'm the Commissioner of the Department of Local Government and Finance.
Okay,
Jeff Thompson, House Republican Representative.
great, thank you.
Paul Joyce, State Examiner, Board of Accounts.
And David, do you mind?
Sure. David Holt. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Churchill and Antrim, and a former COO and CFO for a large school corporation in Indianapolis.
Right. And just for the record, counsel.
I'm Emily Chrysler. I work as counsel for DUAB.
Right, we've got a fairly brief agenda today. Our first note, I know some of you weren't a member of this board at the time for the minutes, so you may not have much to add, but certainly Paul, David, and Chairman Thompson. So I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes that were distributed before the meeting.
Take a motion to approve the minutes for November 14th, public meeting, November 14th, regular session, and December 19th, 2024, executive session.
Second.
Right, we do have a remote participant, so I'm going to have to call this by roll. So all in favor, approve the minutes, Mr. Joyce,
Yes.
Mr. Hinshaw,
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell,
Yes.
Mr. Holt,
Yes.
and the chair votes aye, so approved 5-0. All right, our first item to consider, and really only item to consider, are the consideration of the MGT benchmark. So you've got some information in front of you, but let me try to sort of give an overview. MGT, doing business as Gary Schools Recovery, have been contracted to be the emergency manager for Gary Schools. That was a 7-year engagement. The most recent contract they had was from 2022 through 2024. And so there was an ongoing monthly fee associated with that, but we also had some benchmarks as well. And so the item before us is to consider the financial benchmark, benchmark 11 in the contract. I'll note that Mr. Eric Parrish is joining us remotely. This is such a quick conversation. Didn't feel it was necessary for him to come and be here in person, but he is available if you have any questions. But the purpose here is if we wanted to align the incentives for MGT to be that with Gary Schools, and we had set well, there's some statutory things that Gary had to achieve to exit distress status, and we added some as a board as well. The two being was to have a surplus of $1.5 million for the 23-24 school year, and then also to achieve at least 15% reserves, and then we would ratchet it all the way up to 20% in terms of having some incentives, but no financial incentive beyond that. And so you see how that's laid out in the contract. You see the claim from Gary Schools Recovery in terms of they're requesting that benchmark. And then finally, you've got a management letter from State Board of Accounts, who recently completed an audit at Gary Schools, which they have been doing annually for the history of this engagement, and showing that indeed those two, well, the first benchmark was met, and then the second benchmark was achieved at 20%, which would be tier 6. I want to add one little nuance in there. When we negotiated this contract, we weren't considering indirect costs for ESSER. And so just through through a verbal agreement and understanding with MGT. We have not included that claiming. So that percentage calculation does not include those monies that were part of the ESSER funds from the federal government. And so even without those funds, they still did achieve that tier 6 benchmark. So if you were wondering where that calculation was added in, that was the thought there. So so that is the item. You know, before we take a motion, is there any just questions or any discussion that anyone has regarding what was needed to achieve the benchmark and how that was calculated? All right, if not, I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we pay MGT for meeting the benchmarks.
Second.
Do you need the
And-
amounts?
No, I think we're fine. I think that's laid out in the contract, which is a public document. So, is there any discussion? All right, we'll call the roll again. Mr. Joyce,
Aye, yes.
Mr. Henshaw,
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell,
Aye.
Mr. Holt,
Yes.
and the chair votes aye. So motion's approved by a vote of 5-0. Is there any new business to come before the board? All right, seeing none, we will adjourn / recess and reconvene here in executive session. And Mr. Parrish, appreciate your participation today.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you all.